The president and I talked earlier in the day yesterday about watching it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
What was it? A major speech? A legislative breakthrough?
How the hell did we end up here, Mr. Cramer?
No, it was Thursday night's Daily Show, where host Jon Stewart skewered CNBC financial pundit Jim Cramer.
I can't reconcile the brilliance and knowledge that you have of the intricacies of the market with the crazy bull I see you do every night.
There's a market for it, and you give it to them, and I think
There's a market for cocaine and hookers. Well, you knew what the banks were doing, and yet we're touting it for months and months. The entire network was. And so now to pretend that this was some sort of crazy, once-in-a-lifetime tsunami that nobody could have seen coming is disingenuous at best and criminal at worst.
Like a prosecutor bearing down on a decidedly uncomfortable witness, Stewart argued that the financial network, and by extension much of the business press, had given the public a false sense of financial security.
The Bulls and the Bears are duking it out.
But as Stewart himself said, Jim Cramer was not the real target of his anger.
The voice of experience you can trust.
And CNBC is at root a symptom of what has happened over the last year and a half. It's a network with a very small audience, about 300,000, but a very affluent one, with a relentless, at times hyper-caffeinated intensity that's focused on the day-to-day movement of the markets.
It's been another one of those days, up and down and up and down.
The reason they exist is to do this moment by moment, what's going to happen tomorrow. And, you know, I think that's pretty much a mug's game in terms of what it can actually tell ordinary people.
And you guys knew that that was going.
The core of Stewart's anger is his belief that in its coverage and in its lack of skepticism, much of the press was painting one picture to the public while knowing full well that the reality was very different.
That it is a game that you know is going on, but that you go on television as a financial network and pretend isn't happening.
Actually, says New Yorker financial writer Jim Surowiecki, much of Wall Street's problem was that it fooled itself.
A lot of guys on Wall Street, one way or another, drank their own Kool-Aid.
Now, with the disappearance of $50 trillion, 4.5 million jobs, and an immeasurable loss of financial well-being, the anger at what has happened is showing up across the media universe. It reaches from ABC News, which followed the corporate jet travels of Bank of America CEO with OJ-like focus, to a piece on a lavish weekend party thrown by a Chicago bank. That aired on TMZ, a site mostly featuring the misbehavior of celebrities. But the real issue is this: how do we get the hard questions asked before things go wrong? That is the very serious question the late-night comedian was raising, Katie.
All right. Jeff Greenfield, Jeff, thank you for your perspective on that.